I remember everything about 9/11. I woke up to somebody telling me that a plane had hit the World Trade Center, and I got up and watched a little of the television, and then saw the second one hit, and at that point, I immediately walked to the Diamondback, and I walked to the South Campus Dining Hall, and I remember looking up in the sky, seeing other airplanes, thinking, okay, what happens if an airplane comes down in front of me or on our campus? So it's just this very eerie sense of what's going to happen next in that 5-minute walk to the Diamondback offices.
No one knew anything. So you had the 2 attacks in New York, you had the Pentagon, you had the one in Pennsylvania. We weren't sure if this was only the beginning. I mean, there was a lot of fear for people, especially in this area, that, you know, like, especially being so close to DC, like that we could be impacted. So there were a lot of things that just stopped, that, you know, people weren't doing for whatever reason. But I know that Jonathan thought that it was important that an edition came out, and he made sure that it happened.
So on September 11th, they did not cancel school. President Moat did not cancel school. And there's a lot of outrage about that, because there are a lot of people from New York that, you know, were wondering what's going on. No one went to class anyway. But so there was some outrage about that. And then Moat actually canceled the next day, September 12th. And so if in the Diamondback printing, it doesn't print if there's no school the next day, like a snow day or something like that. So we had to go and convince our general manager that this was something that we needed to do. And then there were additional issues. So if we don't print, none of the drivers drop off. So all of the students, all the Diamondback staffers are the ones that delivered the papers that day. There's definitely a lot of, we've got to do this, because if we don't do it, then there's not going to be a record of what happened here this day. And it was such a unique perspective from students' eyes.
Like when I was growing up, like, you heard about Pearl Harbor and you heard about the JFK assassination, and you always, like, you hear people talk about, like, oh, I remember when JFK was shot, I remember what happened, or I remember what happened on this day. And it was just really, it was kind of a surreal feeling, because I knew at that moment that this was one of those days that I will always remember what I was doing. And I felt pretty helpless. I felt like I didn't really know, like, what was going on. And I just thought, like, I don't even know why, like, I wrote the column. It was almost like cathartic almost, just to write it. I felt like just expressing my feelings was, like, what I had to do at that time. Like, I felt like it was, like, the one thing I could do to help. It was just what came to mind. Like, it was almost like I wanted to document how I was feeling at that time, so, like, maybe one day I could go back and think about it.